I'm Austin Wilson, Research Analyst at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And I'm Josh Robb, Director of Wealth Management at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And we are here to provide you an economic and market update for the month of September, looking back at the month of August.
That's right.
Let's start with the markets.
Let's do that.
That's how we usually do it. It was less fun than the month before.
Yes.
Let's say that. So the S&P 500, a broad range of large cap U.S. stocks, down 4.08%.
Ooh.
That's a big move in one. The Dow, it was down 3.72%. The NASDAQ was down 4.53%. Small cap stocks, they were down 2.05%, so a little bit less. International developed stocks were down 4.6%. I'm going to skip one. Bonds were down 3.04%. Oh, but wait. There was one glimmer of hope. The emerging market stocks, they were up 0.46%.
Wow,
a little
bit surprising.
But that's a big difference compared to the rest of the world there. So not as fun of a market month for sure, but hopefully we'll get better.
That was not good news. I'll give you some things to celebrate this month, which are some less known holidays. And so we're going to start. So by the time you watch this, you've already missed this holiday. September 6th. Was National Fight Procrastination Day.
Ooh.
And so since we missed it, don't do anything about it. Just wait till next year.
Procrastinate. I love it. Okay, so next up, Inflation Reduction Act.
Yes.
So on August 16th, 2022, this was passed by Congress and signed into law by President Joe Biden. This was a law which aims to, this is an exact quote, aims to curb inflation by reducing the deficit, lowering prescription drug prices, and investing into domestic energy production while promoting clean energy. It represents the largest investment into addressing climate change in United States history and includes a large expansion and modernization effort for the Internal Revenue Service because, you need more taxes to pay for more spending.
That's right. And the acronym IRA was a brand new one, never used for anything else in the industry.
It's not confusing.
Yes. All right. So along with the IRA, 401ks,
That's
company retirement
wonderful
plans. September 9th is National 401k Day, which is a reminder. It was created as a reminder to encourage participants to use that as a savings vehicle.
Yeah.
It's estimated that 79% of Americans work for a company that offers it, but only 41% take advantage of it.
That's half.
Yes.
Of those people.
Yeah. And so that's part of why this day was created, with the idea that, hey, you know what? This is a great way to prepare for retirement, and you might as well take advantage of it.
So if you have a 401k, takeaway or access to a 401k, utilize it.
Yes. Try to at least get the match, because that's free money.
Absolutely. Good idea, Josh. Next up, in another Washington news, on August 24th, 2022, the Biden administration announced a student loan relief plan. So the Department of Education will provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients with loans held by the Department of Education, so federal student loans, and up to $10,000 in debt cancellation to non-Pell Grant recipients. Borrowers are eligible for this relief if their individual incomes are less than $125,000 or $250,000 for married couples. And in conjunction with this news, the pause on federal student loan repayment will be extended one final time to the end of the year, December 31st, 2022. And it was very, very clear that borrowers should expect to be paying their loans again. Interest will start accruing again on January 1st.
I saw that. I think they have until the end of next year, though, for the student loan relief, which is great.
Gotcha.
Gives it a little more time. All right. So for me, coming up in September, National Cheeseburger Day. That's a good one. By the way, cheeseburgers were invented in 1926.
Okay.
When Lionel Sternberger.
Okay.
They had already had burgers. And there's kind of differing stories on how this happened. But he thought, hey, what if I threw some cheese on the top of this burger? And
how could you go wrong?
I mean, yes.
That sounds awesome.
Changed the course of history right there.
We're recording this at about 8 in the morning.
And you're hungry, and you want a cheeseburger.
I would eat a cheeseburger right now. Like a breakfast cheeseburger? That's got to be a
egg
thing.
on top?
With my coffee? Okay. Anyway, we're back to news.
Yes, distracted you.
Inflation. We talk about it all the time because it's really a hot topic.
It is.
Literally, because inflation's hot.
Yes.
So July inflation, which we got reported in August, it cooled somewhat, Headline CPI came in at 8.5% year over year. So that was dipped down a little bit there. Core CPI, essentially flat month over month at about 5.9% year over year. The Fed, so the Federal Reserve, did not have a formal meeting where they would issue interest rate changes or changes on quantitative tightening, as we're doing right now, or anything like that. But what they did do was they had a symposium, a big meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which is beautiful if you've never been there.
You know why they meet there?
Wow. Well, it was one of the guys a long time ago was a fly fisherman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the only way they could get him to go.
I know. So, yes, if you want to go fly fishing, go over there. But anyway, they did not have a meeting, so they made no changes, but they did have this separate meeting where they talked about essentially that they're going to keep their foot on the brakes for the economy to slow it down, doing whatever it takes to slow down inflation. Because even though it's coming down a little bit, it's still really high historically. The bond markets, by the way, are pricing in a 75 basis point or 0.75% interest rate increase in September.
So the last two, the same as they did the last two. Okay.
Which would be considered large by historical standards.
Yep. Very fast rate.
Yes.
All right, Austin. Next for me, going with food.
Whoa.
For you.
Thank you.
September 18th, National Rice Krispie Treat Day.
National Rice Krispie Treat Day.
The first mention this in a cookbook was 1938.
Okay.
And then the Campfire Girls, led by Mildred Day, who, by the way, she worked at the Rice Krispie factory, added some little bit more sweetener to this than the original recipe, became very popular. That's 1939, so a year after that. And then in 1941, Rice Krispies added the recipe to the box. And, everybody fell in love with it.
Well,
so, enjoy.
That's pretty good. So now...
It's trademarked, by the way.
Rice Krispie Treat, the name? Mm-hmm. I'm sure it is. Kudos to Will Hinks from our office for making these. They're fantastic.
They're very good. Big bite.
All right. And last but not least for me, Europe. We don't talk about it a lot. Talk a lot about stuff in the United States, but we talked about inflation for the United States. Well, Europe's having their own issues with inflation. So in many areas of Europe, inflation actually is hotter or higher than it is here in the United States, with the Eurozone as a whole showing 8.9% inflation year over year at the most recent reading, including, which it's not really part of the Eurozone, but in Europe as well, the UK had 10.1% inflation.
High.
So some of this has been exacerbated by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the economic fallout from Europe's oil and gas supplies being threatened and now officially cut off from parts of Russia.
Yep.
So that is causing higher gas prices, higher oil prices, higher energy prices in general, higher electricity prices, and as well as food. Because a lot of food came from Russia and Ukraine, or food supplies. So Europe is definitely feeling inflation as much, if not more, than the United States. One of the interesting situations that Europe is in is that the European Central Bank, or the ECB, they have had, coming out of the global financial crisis, they've had negative interest rates for many, many years, and have just now, recently, gotten back to zero.
Yes.
Which was huge.
Yep.
And they have a long way to go to be slowing down the economy to bring down that kind of inflation when rates are still that low. So it's a little bit different situation than we have in the United States, and it's going to take some time to play out.
All right.
That was a somber note for you.
Yes. All right. And at the end of September, by the way, One Hit Wonder Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So One Hit
Great
Wonders.
White.
Is that your favorite one?
That's theirs. That was the band with the One Hit Wonder.
Okay. So One Hit Wonder was originally started in 1990 by a journalist who started tracking this. And the official One Hit Wonder is they hit number one on the Billboard charts and then never had another song get in the top 40. So that's kind of how they define this, all right? So you mentioned one. I had Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, it's a good one. My Sharona.
Yep.
Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, if you remember that song.
No, I don't.
I Get Knocked Down, but I Get Up Again.
Okay, I get it. I never knew the name.
Okay, that's what it is. Take On Me by Aha, and then the Macarena. I think Billy Ray Cyrus was one, too.
I was thinking Soulja Boy, potentially.
Okay.
However, I think that he did have one second song that was...
Maybe hit the top 40?
Close, but anyway.
So
Well, anyway, that
was
has
it.
been the economic and market update for the month of September. Looking back at the month of August. As a reminder, nothing we talked about here is a recommendation, but if you have any questions, feel free to give our office a call at 419-425-2400, and we would love to talk to you.
All right, we'll see you next month.
Thanks. Bye. First sip of coffee of the day right here.
Oh, you don't have any at home?
I have some, but this is way better. How do we start this?
Hello.
Yep.
Not hey, but
Okay.
hello.
Hello, I'm Austin Wilson with Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And I'm Josh Robb with Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And we are here to provide you economic and I'm going to start over because this is really
Try
rough.
again.
Hello, I'm Austin Wilson, Research Analyst at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And I'm Josh Robb, Director of Financial Planning. Oh, crap. Changed my name. Wow. Man.
Josh Robb and Austin Wilson work for Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. All opinions expressed by Josh, Austin, or any guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed. There is no guarantee that the statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment. Any investor who attempts to mimic the performance of an index would incur fees and expenses which would reduce returns. Securities investing involves risk, including the potential for loss of principal. There is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.